You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and as of right now, we're not sure if Howie Roseman's going to make another trade. He just made the most trades in an NFL draft dating back to 1990. The Philadelphia Eagles are done drafting. If they make another move, we'll keep you in the know right here on the show. But three selections who we want to talk about with Philadelphia continuing to stay busy on the final day of the draft. And they're addressing offensive line here on day 3 in the latter rounds. And they also have drafted 2 wide receivers. We're going to talk about Trevor Keegan on this show, offensive guard out of Michigan, an intriguing player with so much size who looks like a power forward in pads at the wide receiver spot in Johnny Wilson out of Florida State, who took a 30 visit to Philadelphia in the pre-draft process, and then another offensive lineman in Dylan McMahon, a center, left guard, right guard, player with a lot of versatility out of NC State, and an above-average athlete. That other receiver that I just mentioned, that's Ainias Smith. The video is already out on him, as well as all of the other moves that Philadelphia has made here on day 3. That's why you subscribe to the channel. Let's first begin with the selection of Trevor Keegan. And I thought it was important for Philadelphia going into the draft to stack up on some offensive line depth. The starting 5 is as good as it gets in the National Football League. He gave a contract extension to Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson. It looks as though Cam Jurgens' job at center is going to be safe. I think this is a pretty good draft for Tyler Steen because you didn't really bring in viable competition, or at the very least, he should be able to have the inside track of winning that job at right guard. And then Philadelphia did not draft the future Lane Johnson replacement, nor did I think they really had to. If they wanted to get a player like Troy Fuatano, would have had to have traded up in the NFL draft in that first round, but I absolutely love the selection of Quinyon Mitchell. As for Trevor Keegan, an offensive line depth piece to start off for his career, and he's a player who, coming out of high school in Crystal Lake, Illinois, was the #1 player in the entire state. And more than 100 schools across the country had visited him in high school because they were trying to recruit him to their school. He ends up committing to Michigan to play for Jim Harbaugh. I like that because Jim Harbaugh puts a priority on the offensive line. He said after the Chargers took Joe Alt with the 5th overall pick on Thursday night in the first round that we look at offensive linemen as weapons, and he's always done a good job of developing the position. Keegan has the size to develop. 6'5", 310 pounds, also has a lot of experience under his belt, which is going to help him in trying to crack this team as an offensive line depth piece. Plenty of experience as a 3-year starter who grew throughout his time at Michigan. 44 games played, 37 starts. He started 11 games in 2022, 15 games in 2023. He was a team captain for the Wolverines en route to winning the national championship, and all of those starts in 2023 came at left guard. 10 of the starts in 2022 came at left guard. He made 1 start at left tackle that year, and then in 2021, 13 games and 11 starts at left guard as well. Lacks the length that you would kind of want from a every down starting offensive lineman, and maybe that's part of the reason why he didn't go earlier. He's a quick player, though, who mirrors well and plays with attitude in the run game. And for those reasons, I think he has a lot of potential at the next level. Sometimes these offensive linemen taken on day 3 end up having very successful careers, and he really started to round into form during the 2023 campaign. Now, you look at the Pro Football Focus numbers here. Struggled with run blocking at 63.9 according to PFF, overall grade of 68.6, but an 80.7 pass blocking grade on 836 snaps. He was a second-team All-Big Ten player and can really get quick out of his stance. What does Philadelphia like to do? Get some of their offensive linemen out in space on those pull blocks to get downfield in the run and pass game. So an offensive lineman here to give you some depth. You lost Jack Driscoll. You lost Sua Opeta in NFL free agency. And you go Trevor Keegan, Dylan McMahon here on day 3 for an offensive organization that does a great job of developing the offensive line with legendary offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland. Make sure you join the channel today and hit that sub button. One of us. Hit that sub button right now for daily coverage, and it's all entertaining, informative, insightful right here on the show. 2 more picks to get to, but first, Game Time, the only ticketing app that I use, the only ticketing app that I have on my phone. Prices drop as the event gets closer, lowest price guaranteed, and when you think about going to a sporting event, what I love about sports, why I fell in love with sports at 5 years old and why I wanted to become a sports broadcaster when I grew up, sports bring people together more than anything in life, in my opinion. Your team scores and you're at a game, you're looking around, you're high-fiving, you're giving hugs. And you can put together amazing memories in doing that. Game Time wants you to put together great memories. That's why I use this app, because of that, but also $20 off. Use the code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off your purchase. And you can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. The list view gives you the vantage point from your seat. You can also go map view if you want to pick what part of the stadium you want to sit in. And I'm a well-rounded, versatile guy with a lot of interests, right? I love sports, of course. That's why I'm in front of the camera right now talking to you with this headset on. I love music, though. I like comedy. I like going to theater events, a Blue Man Group show from time to time. Highly recommend it. And you can do that and buy those tickets on the Game Time app as well. $20 off. Use the code CHATSPORTS. We will put all of this information down below in the show notes of this video. Johnny Wilson. What a fascinating pick here for the Eagles. And if I'm Philadelphia, they go Aeneas Smith, Texas A&M, Johnny Wilson, Florida State at the wide receiver position. I would have gone with Brendan Rice, the son of Jerry Rice, 4'5", 40 guy, underrated vertical ability. I think he starts off really well in the slot. You need a wide receiver 3 on this team because I'm not convinced Devontae Parker or Paris Campbell are that. Parker, last in separation the last 4 years in the entire NFL. And then Paris Campbell, 4'3" speed, but he's been injured so much. And Brendan Rice had 12 touchdowns last year. One of a handful of players at the college level to do that. What the Eagles do is they go Aeneas Smith, short area quickness, can make people miss in a phone booth, can pick up yards after the catch, return ability. And Johnny Wilson is a completely different player. He is a power forward at the wide receiver spot. Massive, massive size. He stands at an astounding 6'6" and is 231 pounds. And what's also interesting about Johnny Wilson, by the way, he started his career at Arizona State, and then he transferred to Florida State, where this past year, he was outproduced by Keon Coleman, who's another jump ball wideout, who I think plays more physically than Johnny Wilson. But what I was getting to, 35 3/8-inch arms and an 84.5-inch wingspan. He ran a 4.52 40-yard dash at the combine at 6'5", 6'6", 231 pounds. He can go up and he can get it. He can climb the ladder and be that jump ball wide receiver. Currently, Philadelphia does not have a player who fits this mold on the roster right now. The issue, he's dropped the football a lot. He's had 7 drops the last 2 years. The lack of concentration can be an issue. He always doesn't play to his size and physicality. So a huge receiver, impressive athleticism, some blocking chops, which I imagine Philadelphia really liked, an insane catch radius and frame. But the drops are an issue, and he's really just an okay route runner who does struggle to separate. Here's what the Athletic's Dane Brugler had to say about Wilson: imposing size and stride length for potential mismatch opportunities. And because of that stride length, he doesn't look as though he's moving quickly, but he's a glider, is how I would really characterize his movement ability. And Brugler with the pro comp here reminds a lot of people of Devin Funchess, and Devin Funchess was okay to start his career. People didn't know what position he was. He was a little bit of a tweener, wide receiver, tight end, We'll see what Johnny Wilson ends up becoming. If he adds some bulk, maybe tight end, but I don't think he's physical enough to play tight end. But can you imagine him going down the seam? In 2023, 41 catches, 617 yards, 15 yards per catch, only 2 touchdowns. When you're that big and you're going up against collegiate DBs who aren't even going to sniff the NFL level, who don't have anything close to your size, how do you not dominate them? How do you not little boy those DBs out there and be more of a red zone threat? Those are some of the issues that I have. But at this point of the draft, round 6, 185, you're going to take a chance on a player with some athletic chops like that. And then lastly, again, as of right now, this is the final pick for Philadelphia, round 6, 190, Dylan McMahon, who is a versatile interior offensive lineman who's played at a bunch of different positions. Comes out of NC State. He's 6'5", 313. That's the good. Very short arms, though. About 32 inches. Wingspan, under 80 inches. But going back to the versatility here, 40 games, 39 starts throughout his college career. And it was all over the place. He really did play multiple different positions. And I actually just lost my notes. Let me get back to that. Hold on one second, because I want to make sure I get this right as far as where he was playing at, as far as his positional versatility. Let me pop this back up. Give me a moment. Bad radio, Chase, but I apologize. My notes just disappeared on me. I'm trying to search it here. I know it's somewhere because this is an important point to make with Dylan McMahon. There we go. So the positional versatility here. And by the way, a 5'10", 40-yard dash at 299 pounds. So he can pull, he can get to that second level. The positional versatility, 22 starts at right guard, 14 starts at center, and 8 starts at left guard. He played in 49 games as a 5-year college player and started 44 of them. A little bit of an undersized frame at under 300 pounds. They said the same thing about Jason Kelce. Now, Jason Kelce ran well below a sub-5 40-yard dash, and Dylan McMahon, 5'10". I'm not comparing them, but as far as athletic centers of that type of prototype, that's why I'm making the correlation there. He's an incredible mover for the position, like Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce, also a late-round pick out of Cincinnati. Also possesses shorter arms that can leave him susceptible to getting overpowered a little bit. And because of that short arm length, he can have poor technique in both the run and the pass sets. Lacks body girth. And I would say he's a good fit for a zone-based scheme for Philadelphia. And he does have a little bit of aggressiveness to him. He was flagged 6 times in 2023. A little bit more than expected because of his experience. Missed 2 games as a senior with a right knee sprain, but other than that, a player who's been pretty durable. The Pro Football Focus numbers, again, room to grow, room to get better, but that's why he's a day 3 pick toward the tail end of the draft. 66.2 overall grade, pass blocking grade of 71.3, run blocking grade of 67.8 on 684 snaps. So it was a clear emphasis for Philadelphia, and I had this in my last mock draft. I actually had the Eagles going with Dylan McMahon at pick 210, and they don't have that pick any longer, but they go with McMahon here at 190. I had them going DB, skill positions a little bit early, defensive line, edge, and then offensive line at the end to just build up that depth, because the starting unit is really good. The backups, you want to fortify that just a bit. Who has been your favorite pick so far? Let me know down in the comment section. Draft grades still to come here on the show a little bit later. Be on the lookout for that right here on the channel.